Excel table. I have opened up the spreadsheet which came with the textbook, and the spreadsheet was January.xlxs, and I have renamed it into cash receipts January. So I'm going to the documentation tab worksheet to enter my name, and then today's date. And then I am going to start following the direction on EX262, which require you to go to the second worksheet, which is the cash receipts. You will see several columns: the TRN date, day of the week number, the segment which would tell you what was purchased, and the amount. So the first exercise that we're going to do is to somehow freeze this row 1 right here. And you can do that if you haven't got back to the top of your spreadsheet. You can use a combination of Control Home to get back to A1. And then you will go to the View tab right here, and then there is a Freeze Pan pull down. Now the Freeze Pan pull down gives you 3 options, and what we want to do right now is to freeze top row. And this is going to give us the ability to always remain, to keep the row 1 as the top. And as we scroll down the spreadsheet, you can see that row 1 will always be kept. So we will scroll all the way down to 122 at this point, and we also want to follow the instruction to go home. So again, Control Home will get you back to the top. And then we are, instead of going into A1, we are now stopping at A2, and that becomes the active cell. Now this is very useful. We do have to learn how to unfreeze the pan. So we go back to View, we go back to Freeze Pans, and all of a sudden the top option here becomes Unfreeze Pan. So we're going to then click on that, and you can see that top row is no longer frozen. We can, if we hit the Control Home right now, you can see that it goes back to A1 instead of A2. So that will bring us to EX264, where we are now going to create an Excel table, because the user of this particular spreadsheet is interested in manipulating the data to see what the intake per day was. And the table is able to give us a lot more options. So we will go to the Insert tab on top. There is a Table button. If you click on the Table button, it will give you an automatic guess, and it's usually pretty accurate, of what the data range you wish to have. You will also see that there is a check mark on my table has headers. You want to keep this checked so that the headers will automatically be selected when you click on OK. So we'll click on OK here, and then you can select any of the cell within this table, and you can scroll down, and you can see that the top row is no longer just a frozen pan, but rather the top row has become a selectable choices. So, and if you go over, go outside of this table, you can see that the top row will disappear. But as long as you are inside the active cell, active table, you can see the top row. So we'll hit Control Home at this point, and we'll go back to the top, and that will give us to EX266. So now we want to rename this table, because when you create a table, the table itself will have a name. So you go to Table Tool Design, you click on Table Tool Design, And you can see on the left-hand corner, top left corner right here, you see a table name. So the textbook wants us to change it to January data right here, and you press enter, and that will change the name of this table into January data. We now wish to follow the steps in EX267 in order to format this table. So the first thing we want to do is go make sure you're at the Table Tools, Design tab. There is a table style right here, table style options. If you want to click on the the table style option is here. And if you want to click on the more button, which is right here, then you can see that there are several styles that was already preset. And the textbook is asking us to select the medium style 3, table style medium 3. It will give us this orange style table corresponding to what the textbook has. In the table style options, right here, you can see that there is a banded rows. That one is already checked. So if you follow EX267, the step is to click on it to deselect. You can see that after you deselect this, there is no more alternating color, and it makes it a little bit harder to read. So we actually want to then click on the banded row to select it again. So we had try, and we decided to keep the banded row. The next step, step 5 on EX267, asks you to change the column A to E to column width 12. So I'm going to right click after selecting these columns, and I will go to column width. And column width that the textbook asks is 12. So we're going to enter 12. And that will make the columns a little bit wider. We will then select the amount column and then change the value to accounting. So at this point, just select the column, go back home, and then change the format to accounting. And voila, you will have a format that looks like this. And then the next thing we want to do is to add a few rows of data. So we're going to follow EX268, which asks us to look at the data and then add a few 4 records to the table. So we want to press the End key and then press the down button all the way. It will bring us all the way to A122 of the active cell. This is important. It is important to follow the instructions very carefully, because you will see that we are going to expand this table. Right now this table is already selected, and you can see that the table has a range, and the range ends at 122. So we want to expand the table down even further, but we want to follow the instruction on the textbook in order to do so. So the first thing we want to do is press the down key, and that will give us the first empty space. So we want to enter the date. Now, my Excel probably has a Canadian format, so it is different from textbook. So instead of 1/31/2016, I'm going to do 31/1/2016. And this is the important part. Instead of enter, you want to use the tab key on the keyboard. So this is what will happen when I hit tab. You will see that there is a auto format here, and then more importantly, you can see that the table range has been automatically expanded. Now, if you type in the date and all you did was to enter, it may not have realized you wanted to expand the table. So at this point, you want to use the tab key. and then you will make sure that you enter the rest of the information, which is on step 4. So Sunday, day is 6 as the week, sorry, and then food as the segment, and then 164.50 as the amount. So you can see that this has been entered. So when you finish, the best way to continue would be using tab. So instead of hitting the enter key, use tab, and you can see that when I use tab, the Excel spreadsheet automatically increases it automatically expands to the next row and includes it in the table. So I'm just going to use tab from now on, and I'm going to enter the rest of the information as requested on the textbook. And here I am finishing using tab every time, even here, and entering the information that the textbook asked for. So I have just finished entering, and at this point I will use the enter key right here. And you can see that the next row has been selected, but Excel did not expand this table down here. So again, use the tab key as you go through if you want to expand the table. When you want to finish and not expand the table, use the enter key. So that leads us to EX269. And here it asks you to look at the function to find a piece of data. The first step is going home, so you use Control Home to go back to the first row. And then in the Home tab, there is, if you are already in the Home tab, there is a Find and Select button right here. So if you want to find the information that the textbook is asking for, you will hit the Find. Now, again, my format is a bit different from the textbook. I will put down, instead of 1/20/2016, I will enter 20/1/2016, and hopefully that will find whatever it's asking for. So apparently I didn't find what I was going to look for. Let's see if it's because I'm missing a 0 here. Voila. So I have managed to find the first row that correspond with January 20th, 2016. And I will then click the Find next a few times. To find a row, you can see row 82. And what the textbook is asking is to find this row because this particular amount is missing. So we're going to enter 154.25 in order to fill that. And that's all we need to do. And at this point, we can return back to the home row. So it's, again, Control Home as step 7 will bring us back. So that completes EX269. We'll move now to EX270, which will allows you to find and delete a row. But it's not just finding and deleting a row, it is to find a duplicate row. Duplicate row may be entered because of manual error or whatnot, and we don't want that duplication. So we want to go to Table Tools Design right here, click on that, and then there is going to be a Remove Duplicates right at the Tool section, so you click on that, and it highlights the entire range of a table, and then you can have a few options right here. So we do want to search through all the columns for the data that was duplicated. So we just keep the default right here and click on OK. And then it will find a duplication. It says one duplicate value is found and removed. 124 unique values remain, so we click on OK. So that will then remove the duplicate. So we want to go back to home, so it's Control Home to go back. The next exercise in EX271 allows you to manipulate the pull-down functionality and also the automatic sorting that had happened before you even realize. We want to use those tools in order to present our data in a order fashion. Doesn't matter what order we wish. So we want to make sure we are still inside the table. And then on the ribbon, we will click on Data. And you can see that there is already a Sort button, but more importantly, there is a Sort A to Z button. And this one is going to automatically give you the capability to sort it. But the textbook is asking you to select the segment column, so any cell in the segment column, and then go to the A to Z button and then click on that. So at this point, you can see that the automatic sorting will happen. You don't have to select the whole column. And the sorting is going to be from A to Z. So C, which is coffee, comes first. Food comes next. And then gifts, and also the last one, which is spec string. So this gives you a very quick way to sort and look at anything you want. This is helpful. What is more helpful is what is described in EX272 onwards. You can select multiple columns with a sort dialog box. So we'll return back to the home A1 using Control Home, and then follow the steps in EX272 to sort the table by 3 sort field. So we will go back to the Data ribbon, making sure that you are there. And then in the Sort and Filter group, click on the Sort button right here. You can see a pop-up table right here. The pop-up table gives you a few options to begin with. This is sorting by segment, sort on value, and you can see that there are different buttons right here. We'll go through the steps one at a time. The sort by button will give you an option, and we want to use sort by day at first. So this is the primary sorting field. This is the first one that you have. So we will look at the sort on, and the values is indeed what we want. We'll also look at order. You have a few potentials, so A to Z is what we want. But this is not the only column we want to sort. We also want to add 2 more. So we'll click on add level, and then we will add a segment column. So the second one is segment column. And we want to have values here, and we want to have A to Z. So that's what the textbook is directing us to do. The textbook also is asking us to add another value. So you click on value, and then we will add a amount column here, and then we will sort by value, and then we will sort from the largest to the smallest. So this is the completion of your sort order. First, we sort by day, then we sort by segment, then we sort by amount. Now we are ready to click on OK, and you can see that the table now has indeed been sorted according to your direction. And the first one is day. Now, Friday is showing up first, and then Monday showing up next, and then Saturday showing up after that. The reason is that at this point, we are sorting the day by alphabets. We all know that Friday should be followed by Saturday and so on. So in this sense, this may not be the best way that we want to sort. So there is another way to do so by custom sorting. That brings us to MRK264. The custom sorting, we're going to use a very simple example. So we want to make sure that we are in the table, anywhere in the table. Then on the data ribbon, we want to do a sort and filter tab right here. So if we, if we want to click on the sort button first, and then the dialog pops up, which is what we have looked at before. And we want to go to the sort by day and then change this a little bit. So instead of sorting, we want to go to order, I apologize. We want to go to order, but it is on the day section. And we want to sort on custom list. So you can see that the Excel is actually pretty smart. It realizes you're using the day of the week, and now it's suggesting some of the possibility you can use without you even having to create it. So here is what the textbook is directing us to use: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. So we will use this, and we click on OK, and we click on OK again. And now you can see that the day is now Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. This is closer to what we use every day, and therefore it gives us a better view of our data. And this is the end of tutorial 5.1.